If you are a 90s kid and watch Nickelodeon, odds are you recognize many of these shows that have become cherished childhood memories and adulthood nostalgia. From Salute Your Shorts and Hey Dude to the original Nicktoons, Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy, we see images of these past staples of weekday afternoons and weekend cartoon blocks, and are instantly taken back to a simpler time in life, when the cares of the present day and responsibilities of adult life were faraway wonders in our young growing minds. We enjoyed watching and relating to the adolescent struggles of Clarissa Explains It All, getting the spooks from Are You Afraid of the Dark, and rooting for the kid contestants in Nick's mini game shows like Double Dare, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and Wild and Crazy Kids. There were a number of shows on Nickelodeon that made childhood feel like it was ours, and this programming belonged to us in these amazing years. And one of these for me was this little gem of weird childhood nostalgia. You might know it as The Adventures of Pete and Pete. With its surreal style of music video cinematography and everyday coming-of-age stories, created and made by people without interference from the Nickelodeon corporate office, this show was and still remains something special. But that's a topic for another day. We're here to talk about The Adventures of Pete and Pete theme song. About 1 minute long, and at the start of each Pete and Pete episode, this song was likely drilled into your head, as it was mine. But that's fine by me. It's catchy as can be and lives in my head rent-free. But have you ever stopped to wonder just what exactly are the words of this song? We all know it from childhood, and to this song, I still sing something that I'm pretty sure aren't the real words. Let's get into it. Here's my interpretation of what I think this song says. I'll warn you now, I am definitely not accurate with this.
Or have you picked your target yet? Isn't it? Does your dog bite? Isn't it? Does your dog bite?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure none of that is close to what they're actually saying. But no one really knows what they're saying.
I don't know that.
Commonly considered a bit mush-mouthed and enigmatic, and ultimately open to the viewer's interpretation like many songs, this has left an entire generation singing erroneous lyrics, probably for the last few decades. Like these songs.
I'm blue, I've been deed, I've been died, 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 I've been deed, I've been died. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all shooting some b-ball outside of the school when a couple wrapped up like a juice, another runner in the night. Who you gonna call? Must have damn near killed you.
You got me begging you for mercy.
And as we wind on down the road, stay the night, stay the night, stay the night, stay the night. Oh, I can't forget seeing all your faces you were leaving.
But despite what we hear, the artist is saying something definitely different. Let's go ahead and explore what the correct lyrics supposedly are. But first, more about the band. This is Polaris, also known as the North Star for its near-perfect alignment with Earth's northern pole in the night sky, and the 16th brightest star visible without the aid of a telescope from Earth. Polaris is part of the constellation of Ursa Minor, situated right across from Ursa Major, respectively known as the Little Dipper and Big Dipper. Although it appears to the naked eye as a single point of light, Polaris is a triple star system composed of the primary, a yellow supergiant designated Polaris A, in orbit with a smaller companion, Polaris AB. The pair is in a wider orbit with Polaris B, thus making Polaris a three-star system. Why is this important? Because Polaris is the name of the three-person group that sings the Pete and Pete theme song. It was the group's first release, a 1995 cassette mini-album titled Happily Deranged that contained 3 songs from the television show, including the television show's title song, Hey Sandy. This cassette was released by Nickelodeon, Sony Wonder, and only available by mail as a promotional tie-in with Frosted Mini-Wheat cereal. The offer was heavily promoted during Nickelodeon's Snick Anthology series. The cassette back ties in the band's lore with the show as being discovered by Little Pete as they were playing music in a garage one day. The band itself was commissioned specifically to produce music for the Nickelodeon television show, which was later compiled into the group's first and only album. The 1999 Mezzotint Records release Music from the Adventures of Pete and Pete, Polaris' singer Mark Mulcahy's own label. Mulcahy and the members of Polaris themselves, all hailing from New Haven indie rock band Miracle Legion, of which Pete and Pete showrunners Will McRobb and Chris Viscardi were both fans. In 1993, the two Pete and Pete creators approached Mulcahy about creating a theme song for the show. In a Wired.com interview, Mulcahy states Hey Sandy was the main order for a theme song, and then he was asked for other songs in a kind of descriptive way. 3 more songs were required for the show's inaugural season, including Summer Baby, which the band played live on the first season's finale. Mulcahy goes on to describe the process as interpretive, where Viscardi and McRobb would communicate a particular idea, and Mulcahy would create a song. That process continued on for the next 3 years, with 4 new songs each year. By the time the show was canceled in 1996, Polaris had produced 12 songs, just enough for a respectable rock LP. But Nickelodeon's parent company, Viacom, didn't see much use in releasing an album by a fictitious band. However, when frontman of Polaris, Mark Mulcahy, approached Nickelodeon, they would allow him to release the music on his own. With Nickelodeon's indifferent blessing, Mulcahy used his own label to release the 12 songs. Music from the Adventures of Pete and Pete came out in 1999, and in the years after that, the band, like the show, faded into anonymity. So, just what are the actual lyrics to this vastly misunderstood song? A quick Google search led me to Genius.com, where I found these lyrics. This site gives a detailed breakdown on each line of the song. Also, there's an About section, which tells what the song may be about. It also attempts explanations of why the song sounds so mumbled and indecipherable. The song description here reads as a scene from a relationship between 2 friends, suggesting an encounter on the streets, while the eponymous Sandy is walking her dog, which then becomes the site of an emotional and perhaps violent confrontation. The description goes on to detail the background, stating, while its early creation precedes the series, it was famously recorded for the show in a display of mumbling. It has been speculated that the often indecipherable lyrics exist to obscure themes too complex or provocative for a children's show. But it may have been recorded hastily, and it was the 90s. Mumbling was popular, especially in alternative rock. Let's go ahead and explore these lyrics and decipher their meaning. Here, the narrator is reaching out to the Sandy of the song's fascination. Sandy's face is distorted by her bizarre expression as someone who enjoys a fight. The writer suggests both familiarity and danger. Wait, what? Let's hear that again. Nah, that's not what I hear. It's more like this. Doesn't that seem to fit better? I mean, it could be saying a lot of different things, like this. Or this. Maybe even this. I have no clue. But here's what the best minds online say. Any transcription here is an adventure. Singer Mark McKay said in 2015, "It's one of the very few secrets that I have. No one is right. Nothing that anyone has guessed is right." And that's totally fine. Many songs, no matter how catchy or good they are, remain a popular topic for years just because of indecipherable lyrics. Danny Tamborelli, who played Little Pete, claimed that it's actually, "Can you settle a sure bet?" This couplet, bet and yet, rhymes better. Also, the Live at Lincoln Hall recording supports this as well.
Can you settle a bet?
The line has been popularly heard as "Can you settle to shoot me?" In 2020, Polaris released a lyric sheet. Though intentionally blurred, the word shoot seems to be visible. This may bolster the theory that the song is about the Kent State Massacre. The Kent State shootings occurred on May 4, 1970, and were the killing of 4 and wounding of 9 unarmed college students by the Ohio National Guard on the Kent State University campus. Of the 4 that died, one was named Sandra Lee Schuer, also known as Sandy. It is speculated that the eponymous Sandy of Polaris' song may allude to this woman and nod to other media surrounding the time of the Kent State Massacre, one being the Harvey Andrews song Hey Sandy, whose lyrics are addressed to her.
Hey Sandy, why were you the one?
Also in the song Ohio, which was written immediately after the shootings, folk rocker Neil Young made a reference to Schuer in the chorus.
What if you knew her and found her dead on the ground? How can you run when you know?
Speculation aside, maybe it's a metaphor, where the singer asks Sandy to finally commit to him, or find someone else to hurt. Equally possible, the words might be nonsense, which lends itself to the fanciful and sometimes surreal tone of the show. The rest of the lyrics of the song are pretty self-explanatory. Another notoriously misheard lyric is "Don't You Talk Back." It certainly evoked the narrator's ambivalence toward his future with or without Sandy, and is kinda in tune with the narrative of the show's adolescent coming of age. However, "Does your dog bite?" is almost certainly the correct lyric. If Sandy's dog were, let's say, a Rottweiler, it would suit the narrator's perception of her. Although, the dog is probably metaphorical, representing Sandy's capacity for callousness or cruelty, which leaves it possible to consider that one bite could kill the relationship, and the narrator is just asking Sandy to allow him to get closer. So that's it. That's what they're saying. After all these years, I've been thinking it's something different, but it was so simple, yet really difficult to discern as well. The final song on the album, The Monster's Loose, is followed by a contrasting epilogue of various excerpts from scientific lectures, news reports, and other ephemera. Perhaps it suggests an acceptance of the changing times and media that must be embraced as a part of growing up. No longer are the familiar shows of Nickelodeon plastered on our screens. No longer do we sit glued to the TV like we used to when we were kids. It's replaced with responsibility and work, leaving many of us who are still kids at heart longing for those simpler times. But the collective power of our past childhood nostalgia is strong among us 90s kids, and there's still glimpses of the past in today's media. Just recently, Pete and Pete returned in a music video, much to my delight. Check it out. It's called Water Underground by Real Estate.
Lucky for Martin, an extra frosty orange Lazarus can supercharge your spirits with just one slurp.
Also, there's this brief cameo of Pete and Pete in I Saw the TV Globe. Thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed making this for you. Don't forget to like, also comment, and please subscribe.